I will say, like, there's something, can I just say this is a petty moment, but it's really bothering me how Fox News is talking about Charlie like he was theirs, like he was one of theirs. Well, he wasn't. It's a lie. Just stop, okay? There were some people on Fox who I think really did like Charlie and got along with Charlie and were friends with Charlie. But Fox News, they wouldn't put Charlie on, okay? I know this from my own behind-the-scenes conversations, and I'm not going to specify from whom. But they were annoyed on Team Charlie because he was banned. They wouldn't put him on. He had been too supportive of Tucker. He was considered just other. They put him on in July to co-host Fox and Friends, which was a shock. They finally caught on to his magic. And they had him on Will Kane's show, I think, in August. And prior to that, that's it. Years and years ago, 10 years ago. Yeah, okay. But it's just, all right, it's fine. You know, like, I'm not saying they shouldn't mourn Charlie's loss. It's just all I want to say is he was one of ours. He was someone who was an insurgent. He was in the digital lane. He was independent, fiercely independent. And while he was a rising star who would say yes to anyone, I mean, he was on everybody's podcast, doing the shows like Surrounded, going to the Oxford Union. It's funny because a lot of these things I've also been invited to do, but I say no to most of them because I'm not as into like appearing in public as Charlie was. And I really want to be present for my children who are at an age where they need their mom. I mean, at every age you need your mom, but you know what I'm saying. Charlie was ubiquitous in his appearances. Anyway, he was loving, forgiving, and would say yes to anyone. It's just he was independent. He built his own thing. He created his own platform. He rose to power on his own, notwithstanding the absence of help from a lot of these big platforms that did their level best to demonize Charlie and Turning Point.
To talk. It's my main issue with them. And Charlie Kirk was a guy who, like, he was always talking.
Yes, I will continue to cover this, bringing you videos from different directions so you can see how crazy the left has gone. For 2 days now, what I've observed on social media is a call for concern. They did this thinking Charlie's legacy will fade away, but instead, a lot of people are now aware. Charlie's producer just dropped insane numbers on what he has sparked in terms of his companies and this organization he created. I believe you saw the video at the beginning of this clip. That is it. There are people that were not willing to speak up, but now they are able to do it as a result of what just happened. Bima, on the other hand, is standing tall, calling out the love for who they are. I don't know if you've seen this segment. I have a lot of videos to show you. If you have not subscribed to this channel, please endeavor to do that. It will do you no harm if you share the video.
That's why I love to have people like Charlie Kirk sit there as he did. Because I'm not going to agree with most of what he says. Yeah. First of all, he was very Christy and all that. Yeah. I'm an atheist, but it's okay. He's a human being and not a dummy. And unless people get it through their thick skulls, you're going to have to talk to people. Let me tell you something, Bill. We've had over 200 guests here sitting in that chair. I would guess at least a quarter of them say something that is full-on bonkers. In my view. Okay. You know, like, we didn't land on the moon. Okay. Shit like that.
Or
and maybe
I licked her back and...
Or that is the least crazy thing. You're not in that category. Okay. So far. I mean, I don't know.
Well, we got a few minutes.
Yeah, we got a few minutes. But if you start just dismissing people for anything other than just the most kind of egregious, you know, I'm a Nazi and I'm proud of it. Although even Kanye has survived, and I'm not for canceling him either. Mm-hmm. He sat here once. We didn't air it because I would have been canceled. Or, you know, I'm a cannibal, not like an Army Hammer cannibal who was not a cannibal, and he sat here, and I was happy to rehabilitate him. but an actual cannibal, unless it's something like so out there, you just got to get over yourself and talk to these people. And for all those assholes who are like, I can't believe you talked to Trump. Okay, I'm not even going to go into why that's such a stupid opinion, but just where does it end? All right, I can't talk to him. Who's next? People who voted for him? Can I not talk to Joe Rogan?
Right.
Can't even talk to him. What about Sylvester Stallone? He's such a great guy. Stallone, Rocky. Really? I can't talk to him?
Yeah.
So I don't know. We got back onto that. I really didn't want to. I really didn't want to.
No, I wasn't trying to lead you there.
No. It's on my mind. It's on our minds. It's terrible. Just the fight I have been having with the left. While I'm, of course, the irony, as a lot of people in my position, is still a liberal. Just a traditional liberal, won't go along with their, like a lot of the stuff that's just crazy out there too far, which gets Trump elected, blah, blah, blah. As I always say to my woke friends, we voted for the same person. You're just why she lost.
Oh, I get it. Okay. Took me a second. Sorry, I had to absorb that.
Okay. They're the people who don't want to talk. It's my main issue.
At a certain point, I was never agreeing with B in many, many cases. But along the way, when Trump came in, B started changing his tone. He wants to talk to people he disagrees with. That was a plus. When you look at what he has been doing till date, to me, it's okay. I will never really abide to what he says often or what he agrees with. But just this fact makes it very important. I'm getting angry every single day when I see this. Don Lemon is doing something, I don't know. In a shocking clip, Don Lemon becomes uglier and claims that Charlie was not a civil rights leader in America. A civil rights leader has been defined as a leader of the political movement dedicated to securing equal opportunities for members of minority groups. Charlie was a leader of a political movement that specifically focused on young voters in America that make up 13 to 15% of American voters. By definition, a minority voting group. Charlie's movement at Turning Point specifically focused on educating young people about the importance of limiting government, free market, and freedom. That is it. So I don't understand what this guy is talking about here.
This message is mostly directed at Don Lemon and those that are against the funeral procession of Charlie Kirk. Don Lemon said, why does he get a funeral by the state? Well, Don Lemon, we give two about what you think. We really do. As a matter of fact, we could spend $1 billion on Charlie Kirk's funeral. I wouldn't give two, and most of us would not, that know who Charlie Kirk really is. Don Lemon, did you have this conversation with your people when you guys were tearing out the country concerning George Floyd? Were you talking about all the money that it cost us to rebuild these cities? George Floyd was a nobody. George Floyd had no honor.
This is the argument Libras are bringing up. I'm actually impressed with what this guy said. I think I'm going to do a full video of his replying Don Lemon when he sent out these ridiculous videos on social media. Libras are getting crazy. Like, there were people that were mocked when this issue of George Floyd happened. They were not cancelled. Oh, they did not lose their job. Why is it that they are losing their job as a result of this? If you glorify this, you are evil. Yeah. There is no justification to glorify someone's damage. You are giving people the impression like to do more. So I believe telling these people to stop celebrating, doing all sorts of things is very important. And how can you stop them? It is by firing them. I watched Marco Rubio just a few hours ago on Fox News. They will even revoke visas for people who did this. You are not to celebrate things like this. I want to appreciate people supporting me, sharing out my videos. God bless you abundantly. I don't want to make the video long. I will end here.
And if we are not politically correct, then we understand that if there's a shooting of a Republican politician, it is very likely to be a trans Antifa Marxist shooter.
That is just not true.
We
don't know what this kid is.
Who is constantly sort of pushing this sort of hate speech or sort of aimed at certain groups.
He didn't. President Obama did. President Biden did. Presidents Bush and Clinton did. President Trump did not. Instead, he blamed Democrats.
You know, these are the people causing issues in this country.
But every piece of evidence we have so far makes it very clear that the assassin acted alone.
Not everyone took to his words or
This, who is constantly sort of pushing.
You're running for president, or you're running for one of these.
So you can see who these people really are.
Is there too. We're also, and I'm kind of saying this to you, but also asking our team wider who's listening to flood our social media with this.
Awful. And
we want to update like ourselves since Barack Obama.
Sutra is down for this because the only thing I hate more than repeating